Alrighty, guys, it's time to wrap it up this Friday, January 30th. And it is a real roller coaster kind of a day, isn't it? Haven't really been a lot of directional movements, but there definitely been a lot of rotations back and forth. Starting off the day, we had the PPI number come in just a tad harder than expected and turned into be pretty much um, turned into be pretty much a dud reaction. But also they announced the new Fed chair. That probably had a little bit to do with the rotations we got, but it's hasn't been really a lot of directions going on with it. And right now, I mean, the Nasdaq is a little bit to the downside. The ES is kind of just smack in the range, and that's kind of how we wrapping up this first trading month of the year. Um, I did a couple of trades today. One trade on the ES, a quick one, got shaken out. It's been just too volatile. There was a short trade early on here against these upper areas when they were up here, when they were backing off that upper level. Tried a short trade, promptly got stopped out of it. But you see, I mean, it would have been a great trade if you could sit in it, but the rotation has been brutal, back and forth, back and forth. You're in, you're out, and you kind of had to you put a lot bigger stop. But then again, you have a pretty good pop going, and then they reverse it all the way back up again. So yes, that volatility keeps you getting knocked out of trades. So one trade on that one. I had a couple of trades on the Nasdaq. I'm up 29 on that one. The same story there, a bunch of shakeouts, and then one trade we got a little quick profit taken on that one, and I got pretty much out of it. And then that last trade was done here at the here when they retested that initial balance low. I tried a long trade for a quick pop, and then I just basically got out of it, and that was it. So I figured that it feels like I was going to push that envelope today if I try to be over aggressive, because these rotations you get caught in a couple of wrong ones, it's just brutal. So I just kind of sat on the sidelines, but overall you can see the ES has been staying in the range. Popping this guy up right now. And you can see ES just stuck in the range, not going anywhere. And the range bound there on the ES going into February's trading. That's not a bad sign. I mean, it's they backed off the highs, but it didn't collapse. They didn't take out the lows, so that's a good sign. So starting off range bound around 39, 69.50, look to sell strength up to these levels, the 69.90s and the 7,000s. We're going to buy weakness down here too at the 69.40s, the 25s, the 15s down to the 68, 6900s. And then adjust these edges a tad for Monday's trading, but pretty much range bound trading right now. But it's been pretty volatile stuff. And if you watch gold and silver today, gold is down like 10%. Silver has been down over 30% today. 30%. You saw that margin call came out from a margin change came out from AMP. The micro silver is like it's like, what is it, like $3,000? The silver is like 68,000, like huge margins right now. Because I guess a lot of people got blown out, or sat in positions, or got caught in trades. I mean, on gold, I was looking at gold at 42, 4,300 this morning, and suddenly it was down to 4,000. Then it was down like, sorry, down to 5,200. Then it was down to like 5,000. Then it was down at 4,700. It's nuts, absolutely nuts. And if you sit in that, if you get on the wrong side of a trade like that, the broker will liquidate your position, and yes, you're just sitting there with a huge loss. So today, a few people lost accounts and they blew up their accounts in a big way. It's not a pretty sight. But so that's the all in gold, not gold, gold and silver. Massive changes on those guys. But then again, they went parabolic and they were actually doing some crazy stuff, and then absolutely completely collapsed today. And then Nasdaq, you can see they were up here. They got hard knocked down yesterday. They were up a little bit in the overnight, and down here flirting with the low. So kind of a weak end of the day looks like. We'll see if we get some strength at going into the close. But we had the big tech earnings come out this week, and those earnings were having overall pretty good. I mean, only guys Microsoft got hammered pretty hard, but otherwise it's been pretty good. So. And it hasn't been like they posted bad numbers. Yes, like it's like small details, and like the Microsoft was absolutely annihilated. So it's overreactions is what it is. Watch this level on now on the Nasdaq. See if they're going to take out these 25.50 in the close at the close. We'll see. If they can hold above, I would say can hold above this area, the 650s. I would start off range bound. If they close below this area, 650, I would probably start on the short side on the Nasdaq. It feels a little bit weaker than the ES does, but definitely a range bound trading day overall net to the downside, I would say. But I would say pretty much range bound right now. So looking to buy weakness, sell strength. I'm watching that level if I'm going to start with a buy to the downside into Sunday's trading or not. But if they can close above that 640s, we're starting off range bound. Otherwise, we're starting off with a bias to the downside. So a couple of trades on the Nasdaq up 29 bucks. Now today could be one of those days you can make a ton of money because it was moving. It was moving good. But in these bars, it doesn't look like much. But if you look at the rotations within these bars, it's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's just nuts. You can get in on a trade, and it looks like, yeah, I could get in on that trade. It went pretty good, and then right back down again, stop you out, go a little bit lower, come right back up again, and then they keep churning it like that. So overall, it looks easy, but you kind of have to leave your stop way behind here to avoid that. And a volatile market like that, may not want to trade like that. Better to sit on the sidelines, or when you get that initial pop and the market takes you higher, just get out of the trade with a small profit to avoid the rotation. So anyway, so that's the ES and the Nasdaq starting off range bound, watching the Nasdaq to see if we're going to start with a bias to the downside. Now on the bond side of things, they were up here against this area. I was watching this level here. This is a good setup, but this was the third time they were up here at the 06s. And I was saying, like, yeah, these guys, it is borderline. But look at that. It's slowly drifting lower. That would have been right now, 06 is that would be four tick trade right now. So yeah, that worked. But it's a day like this with the stuff going on, I wasn't going to take that third time to the level trade. It felt pretty aggressive. Now the first one, the first retest, it happened a little bit too quick, so I couldn't get in on that one. That's the last update. I was looking at that thing, and I was waiting for another bar, but they kind of backed off and never came back up again. So I kind of missed that thing. But I was watching it. I kind of chickened out on that thing here. It felt very much like, yeah, they're up here for the third time. It could just as well pop it up here to the 09s before they stall. So I kind of left it at that. But anyway, so range bound trading on the bonds didn't go very far. So overall, I would say that we have a pretty interesting close of this month. Going into next week, we're trading in February. So let's see how that's going to go. But there's a lot of rotations today. So anyway, so I'm up 29 on Nasdaq, 250 on the ES, and I kind of stopped trading after that. Figured that I'm not going to be pushing this any further. I don't get that, Mia. We also look for those movements when it is slow. I kind of understand that, Mia, but if that was the bond comment or something else, but overall, pretty darn crazy rotations, that's for sure. And you can be aggressive at trading. You can trade aggressive. You just have to go for it if the activity is like small bursts. Just take those little bursts and don't try to go for big trades. Get shaken out. Yeah, it's enjoy the moves we have. That's for sure. Yeah, it's better than not moving. That's for sure. You just have to kind of adjust your trading style, and if you get a little bit too aggressive on these moves, or you try to get in, and if it runs you over a couple of times, it just it puts you back a bit. But then again, if you're patient and wait for good trade location and wait for a good edge and kind of watching it, yeah, it's better moving than not. So it's just been a little bit crazy. I can tell, I'm watching a couple of faster charts as well, and those, so I can see what's happening inside these bigger bars. But I'm kind of trading off these bigger levels because that gives you a better trade location and gives you, it just gives you better setups. The faster ones, they just get stuck in this churn, back and forth, kind of a churn. So, but anyway, we'll leave it there, guys. You have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys back bright and early on Monday. You guys have a good evening. Let's see what gold closes. But man, silver down 30% today. 30%. That is crazy. All right, guys. See you back on Monday. Later.